Anyway,
What's
hi
happening?
Dylan. Hi Rich. Hi Jamie.
Hey,
What's
Jeremy.
up, man?
Not much. I just got it shared to my feed.
Oh,
We like our comments, even if they're stupid.
long week, boys. How was last week's show? Um, Obviously, I had a lot of power outage here with the storms and
I heard. I'm
everything
glad
else.
you're alive.
Yeah, I'm fine. There's my neighbor said it was like watching dominoes fall in the backyard, and there's about 6 trees down.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Adam. Did you think that the severe weather reminded you of a hurricane?
The Ravens cut Tucker because of his sexual allegations.
And he,
what?
and, he,
Um,
and he hasn't been playing. To be fair, even before the allegations, he wasn't playing that good, too.
Right.
So
um,
But did,
he's
did
just
we
Dylan,
getting
get
that
the,
old,
thing.
man.
Hold on, that thing rolled through in like 5 minutes, so it was like you saw it and then it was gone.
so did
They were
anybody?
they were going to move on from him eventually because he's just getting old at this point.
I don't know. Adam Vinatieri kicked until his 40s. Who
Yeah,
was
but Adam Vinatieri was still making him. Tucker was looking like poopy pants the last few years.
So wait. So what happened to your kicker when he had like a chance to tie the game against the Chiefs a year and a half ago?
Yeah, but that doesn't. He's still playing better than Tucker, though, bud. Where that's not the. You got to look at the big picture here.
Right.
So my thing is,
Did the Browns sign him yet?
they should. But anyways, has any of those rules that they were supposed to start voting on today been in place?
It's instead of Justin Tucker, it's Justin
No,
Tucker.
not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so they're still deliberating.
Not yet. Yeah, they're still sitting in their conference room trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Did you hear some people call him that now?
There is two things that they did push through without a vote by Roger Goodell. Did you see that about the legal tampering period and the first down measurement?
What about the tush push?
That the well, I know that the
Wait, what happened today?
Today is when they started
rules
deliberating about the rules that they haven't pushed through yet.
Right, the tush push that got tabled and
Playoff seeding and the defensive penalties, such as defensive holding and illegal contact.
Right.
That's what they're voting on.
Replay has the ability to advise the on-field officials on specific aspects of a play and to address the game administration. It does the other approved playing rule aligns the postseason and regular season overtime rules by giving both teams an opportunity to possess the ball. And then the new form of free kick that was implemented last year is now an official rule.
Right, and they
everything else is still.
They tightened up the way the blockers and attackers lined up too, to make it to where it's more like a line of scrimmage lineup than spread out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. They keep saying it's a safety issue.
Well, it's not. You know what it is, though, Rich? Can I tell you what it is?
Sure.
It's a double standard issue. You know why? Go back to the first game. I watched the Ravens and the Chiefs, right? Do you remember when Ronnie Stanley tried to line up, the old traditional way in that game? Mm-hmm. And he kept getting called for a false start. But Jawan Pearson for the Chiefs was doing the same thing.
And didn't get called.
Never got called a penalty once on that.
So they're making it an actual formation is what they're doing rather than just letting them line up and go.
Right, and you have to be within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. I understand all that. I'm talking about the kickoffs.
Yeah, I'm talking about kickoff. I am talking about kickoff.
They need to. Well, I was talking about the formation of a regular play where they've made it. Because sometimes the tackles were hell 1.5 yards, 2 yards in the backfield before the play even started. But I mean, with all the crap they've done to it, they may as well do like we were kids and just start at the 20.
Well, yeah, but I like that they moved the touch back to the 35, so now you have a 60% to 70% return rate like it
Right.
is in that's how it is in the XFL, or the UFL. The
Right.
touchbacks are at the 35.
I
So the
get
reason
this.
why they're doing that is because last year with the way they changed it, the average kick return went from 24.2 to 33.8.
And now they
10
want it at
10
like
yards.
60 or 70 by moving it to the 35.
Right. And by moving it to the 35, it's going to stop teams from wanting to kick it into the end zone and make
But
them land in the
they're-
landing zone.
But Jeremy, if you watch what BT Potter's doing, where he's do you see what he's doing in the UFL, where he's kicking the ball sideways on the tee to
Yeah.
try to like prevent returns now and everything, like with the format kickoff? You might actually see kickers do that in the NFL now.
Well,
like I
and
think Brandon Aubrey and
wait,
Harrison Walker tried it last year, where they kicked
Wait,
it
did we get rid of the
sideways
tush? Did we get rid of the push?
They're still voting
That's
on that.
still-
But there was 2 more that was added today that I do want to
Mhm.
bring up.
What I like about the new kickoff,
Hold
there's more
on, Jamie.
strategy
Jamie,
to it.
quit
That's
cutting
why.
Jeremy off. Jamie, quit cutting Jeremy off.
Okay. Teams
Go
now,
ahead, Jeremy.
the legal tampering period, teams now have video phone calls with up to 5 future unrestricted free agents during the legal tampering period and can arrange travel if the 2 sides agree. And also first down measurements. There will no longer be a chain gang. It'll be done by
It's electronic.
guided on camera.
Yeah, and I'm not super sure that I like that particular part of it.
So
Is that
I
gonna
think
take away
I
the
know
job?
what they're going to do is because all the chain gang made the same amount of money as a regular rep, right? So
Yeah,
what they're doing is they're eliminating those 2 salaries, and they're going to be pushing to end up doing it just like in the NBA. This is what I heard, that they're going to fold that in and start going with full-time employees in the NFL and give them a stricter percentage that they have to have right in a game.
Right. I mean, I actually I was a chain gang guy in Dallas for a year. I understand all that.
Did you
But-
talk about the Hawkeye too, Jeremy? And where they're gonna use the Hawkeye for camera for the first down? That's what they use
Yeah.
in the MLB.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
it basically is.
Or it's like the True Vision, the True Vision in the UFL where they show that.
Yeah.
But so you know what's weird though? What I didn't like is what I think is going to be somewhat of a problem with it is like you could challenge the chain gang. I feel like you could challenge, right? Because they were human, right? But did you see the UFL game where someone tried to challenge the True Vision? See, I have a problem with like trying to challenge the True Vision or like challenging the Hawkeye because it's technology and it's usually pretty accurate on how they measured the first time. That's why I wouldn't challenge the True Vision or the Hawkeye.
And when they used the True Vision this preseason, if I remember right, it was 98.6% successful through all the preseason games across the league.
Right, so I don't get
Yeah.
why these UFL
Yeah.
coaches want to challenge the True Vision when it's accurate,
But I do like that they have it where the pitcher can call for it or the batter can call for it if they think it was called wrong by the ump.
Well, but in football, here's where my issue comes in with making it strictly the electronic end of it and eliminating the chain gang. Say something goes haywire because that thing is all internet based.
Mm-hmm.
It is 100% internet based.
The chain game they're going to
Internet
use
goes
as
out.
backup, Rich. They're still going to use the chain games for backup.
No, from what Jeremy's saying, they're eliminating the chain gang.
Yeah, it says
No,
they're
I heard that
eliminating.
they were going to use the chain game as backup, though. Still.
No, sir. From what Jeremy just said,
No.
they're eliminating the chain gang.
I think
So
the
there's no
listen to
backup.
the exact word. The NFL
Okay.
will use camera-based technology to measure first down,
Hawkeye, it's basically
Rip-
called.
replacing the traditional chain crew.
Right, because it's
Replacing
more
means they're
accurate
gone.
than a chain game.
Now,
The
I
chain
think
game takes too long.
right. So what I think is going to happen is there will be like a part-timer type thing where they have 2
Mhm.
guys sit off to the side in case internet or a power failure or something like that happens.
It's just
Yeah,
making
they've
it more
got to have
transparent and
something.
being fast. The chain game, Rich, the chain game. They take too long. They mess around and they have to take the car down. It takes like
Jamie,
30,
I
freaking
get that.
minutes to do.
Jamie, I get that, and it doesn't take
Yeah, but
that
makes
long. But
that
what I'm
makes it
saying is,
exciting.
but what I'm also saying is that if something goes wrong and that Hawkeye goes out, and you
Then
don't have a chain gang there, what are you
No,
going to
they're
use?
saying-
The honor system?
what they're going to use.
I mean,
they are,
you
because
have
of
to have
that,
a chain
They're
gang.
going to have. They're going to have two guys set off to the side just in case of that.
They have to.
Right,
Right. Yes.
but they
Yes.
don't get paid like a full amount because they don't have to do it the whole game.
That's fair. As
I'm
long as
not-
you
I'm
have
not-
those guys there to make sure it works. You still got to
Right,
have
I'm not
humans
sure.
to make sure they work.
I'm not concerned about the pay. What I'm concerned about is, especially when the weather goes to complete crap at the end of the season, and you have issues, and if that internet goes out and that Hawkeye goes out,
Right.
you got to have a plan B, because you can't use the honor system. You know, that's just not going to work either. So there has to be a plan B in this thing somewhere. Not
And I-
necessarily. Yeah, the
you know what I think
primary would be the electronic, but you have that backup plan just in case.
You know what I think the backup plan will be? They will have to review it by looking at the TV footage. Because the TV always puts that yellow line out where the.
But the
first
yellow
outmark is.
line's not always accurate.
But if they're using it based off of the Hawkeye system, it'll already be there, and they'll still have it even when the internet goes down. Is what I'm getting at.
Maybe.
So they're
Maybe.
not going to have. Yeah, but if we're just going off Hawkeyes and everything goes down and there's no chain gang, how do we know where the ball is?
That's what they'll have to use because I'm quite sure the networks are going to be tuned in to what the Hawkeye is and have their version of it on their screen to show the people at home like they always do. You see what I'm saying there? So they will have they'll have to do a review of that and then bring out the part-time chain gang to take over at that spot.
What it basically is it's the NFL. They're being open-minded. It's a different time now. You got to be open-minded about certain practices that don't work anymore. The game's always evolving. That's what it is.
I'm not looking at it not working. What I'm saying is, I was taught this a long time ago, Jamie. You make sure that it cannot fail instead of that it might work. You make sure it cannot fail. Well, if it goes down and there's no backup, it's gonna fail.
Right. It's like when McDonald's wanted to replace humans with robots, right? At the counter at McDonald's, you still have to have humans making sure that they work behind them. Yeah. Because if they break, they could get mad and start chasing you and
not only that, it's new technology, and new technology robot programs, they go bad. The very first one that they had at GM in the D8 engine plant here in Flint, Michigan, it went haywire because of programming.
I just opened up a camera. Hold on.
Right.
Yeah, Jeremy.
I think. Well, anyways, it went haywire one day because the programmer spilt his coffee into the computer, and it started flinging V8 engine cylinder head 300 yards straight across the shop.
Whoa!
I opened.
I worked at the airport, Jay.
Jeremy, Adam knows I just opened up a can of worms. Jay's back on, and he used his famous word again.
Yeah.
Kiosks don't always work, Jay. I worked at the airport.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Get the board. Let's use the borders art to determine the first house. Get Tom Homan in there. I'm just kidding.
No. If you want it to be wrong, you're going to use the one they used to have.
This is just a show, guys. Not to offend anybody. It was just a joke.
Hey, that was a joke. You heard my joke, right? You want it to be wrong like it always has been. Just make the old borders are Mala the part of it.
I think Marcus has joined the room. How you doing, buddy?
Bro, I had no idea they had a show going on. I'm clicked on StreamYard. I'm like, I don't see nothing live. I'm apologize in advance if y'all lose me. It is fucking storming outside. My carport is flooded. We getting some shit in the next couple days.
I hear you, buddy. It's been shitty around here too.
It's shittier than a monkey fucking a football.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Well, I tell you what. I don't know if y'all got to them already, but I got the actual attendances right here if y'all ready.
Jamie, This is open mic, Marcus, not from UFL.
Oh fuck! I thought it was UFO. Shit. All right, peace out, guys. I'm joking. When are we doing UFL?
Thursday, the usual day, right? There's no draft.
Marcus
Yeah,
blames the weather for his dial up.
I don't have dial up. I got shitty AT&T.
But you could always give us an update. How did we do last week anyway? Seeing though it is open mic, we can talk about any sport, right?
Well, I went on my fucking.
Well,
rant
Jay
last
wants to know
night.
the attendances, and I'm curious to see, was that Battle Hawk game at 72,000 people?
Not even close.
It's probably closer to mine.
Let me see.
So, Rich, we guess the attendances on Thursday nights for the UFL show,
Yeah,
just to
I
let
heard
you
that.
know.
I heard that.
Well, Jay wants to know the.
I'm just gonna do the St. Louis game. How about that? I'll keep the rest for Thursday. So before I reveal it, I said 20,000. Adam said 25,000. Jamie said 30,000, and Jeremy said 10,500. The internet, quote unquote, said what? 70,000 plus.
72,000 were in that building.
Well, according
Okay,
to
you got
Jeremy, what's up?
you guys got to remember a very important thing when you talk about attendance at an event. It's the number of tickets sold, not the number of people that go through the turnstile. You got to remember that.
Good point. Good call, Rich.
Well, y'all remember y'all numbers, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
According to Jeremy Karp on Twitter, the attendance for the St. Louis Battlehawks game was 26,684.
Way off, Adam, and so was I.
Well, Adam was
I
the
said
closest.
30.
I
So
said
Adam,
25. I was the closest.
Adam was
I was
closest.
gonna say,
So he-
Alice.
I thought you said 72,000. You said let's make it the max 72,500. Come on now.
I don't even. Does that many even fit in the old Edgar Jones Stadium?
60,000. I heard.
You talking about Edwin James Stadium?
Yeah, or the
No,
dome at
the Edward
American
Jones
Center.
Dome in St. Louis.
Now.
Oh,
Or it's
Well,
now the-
actually, that was the original name. It was the Dome in America Center. Then it was the Edward Jones Dome, and now it's back to
The
Dome
actual-
in America Center.
the actual capacity is 67K in that building.
when they went for the Rumble, they had like what 40,000 or almost 50.
Yeah, and for wrestling, that place will hold about 75, 77 because you got all the floor level. So for
that where they're
wrestling,
doing-
yeah, it'll probably hold.
Is that where they're doing the next event?
No,
No, St. Louis. It's in
those Skytrade Center,
shoot.
but it's Enterprise Center or whatever it's called now.
Yeah,
The one where the Blues play.
yeah.
The hot.
It's Enterprise
they-
Center holds let me double check.
38. No, I don't know. It's what, Backlash? Is that the next one, boys?
Yeah, Backlash.
So,
It holds 19,000. 18,096.
Even with the
For-
floor open?
No, that's without the floor or without the seats on the floor. 22,000 with the wrestling setup. 22K.
Gotcha.
Which for a show like Backlash, that's about the right size building they need to be in. It's not
Yeah.
SummerSlam, it's not Survivor Series, it's not Royal Rumble. Now they're making SummerSlam a 2-night, and it's like, holy shit, fire.
what's worse,
you know-
that SummerSlam being 2 nights or having Cardi B host it, especially for 2 nights?
I would like to go with C, both of the above, sir.
Both A and B. Okay.
I just boy. I don't get it. I mean, they are really doing their damnedest to turn WWE into something like the NFL
Or
with
the
all this
UFC.
pre and post shit and all that kind of deal. 18 hours of broadcast for WrestleMania between the 2 days. 3 hour of pre, 4 hour of broadcast, 2 hours of post each night.
Yeah, how many
If
total hours of
someone
that I
watched
watched combined? 2 hours. That's all I watched of it.
I
2
probably
hours.
watched about 6. And
I
there
saw
was
highlights.
0 pre and 0 post. You know, there were a few matches that I told you during whenever we did our prediction show that they were bathroom breaks. I wasn't kidding.
He wasn't lying.
You know,
It's like being live for 18 hours of the draft.
That's in case you're seeing double. I got 2, 1 for each of you.
Down at the Triple Rock.
yeah, but the 18 hours at the draft,
Hey,
and
Patty.
it really, you know, it doesn't really go quite that long, but I understand your point. The draft is just, it's different. You know, it's the actual event going. The pre-draft stuff is like 30 minutes, an hour, and then you get into it. This, I was just like, holy balls. And they had no matches. That was the part that blew me away. You know, usually
Hey,
they throw a couple of
that's your
matches
new
in.
one, Jay. Holy balls.
How Stand and Deliver have a pre-match, but not Mania? You could
And
have
they've,
had.
I mean, it's not like they don't have enough people. They've got like 160 something people with all the cuts. They've still got like 167 people on the payroll, talent on the payroll.
I need to go look on the video game.
It's without the E. It's without the E, Jay.
I need to go look on the video game and see how many of those playable wrestlers got cut. They're at least like a third of them, or a quarter of them.
No.
Well, I guarantee you can play Strowman, you could play Kai, you could play Katana James, Caden Chance, and Katana James. Gallus is on there. Yeah, and I think it's more. I think it's probably close to 3/4 of them.
Blair Davenport's even still in it, and she was cut a while back. Shayna Baszler, you could play as her.
They're not going to take them out of the game.
No, you can still play with them, but I'm trying to
They're
think.
still going to make money off their names.
I think the biggest holy shit one for me was Braun Strowman, but they're not doing much with him.
Well, it's not just that. The dude can barely walk, man. He had that surgery a couple of years ago, and when they did the surgery, there was nerve damage done to his leg, and one of his legs is 15% paralyzed. That's why he has that kind of Giant Gonzalez walk to him, and he can't walk. The one that I think and she can get away with it because she's using her own name, is Shayna Baszler, because she's former UFC. And she could go someplace like AEW or TNA and just completely be a dominant force and still use her name because they used her, you know. She has the right to use her name.
So I'm gonna make a change. It wasn't Braun Strowman that shocked me. It was Cora Jade that shocked me that when she got cut. But I think she's going to go to TNA. She's going to use her other name. She used to be Elena Black or something like that. And everybody says if he didn't have the outburst like he did, he probably would have got cut too. But I think Karrion Kross saved his ass for having that big ass rant. And now everybody wants to see him on TV now.
Well, Karrion Kross has got more talent than 3/4 of the guys that you see on TV every week. He really, honest to God, does. They just don't have a spot for him. And the problem is, and as much as I say this with every bit of respect to the man that I possibly can, the death of Bray Wyatt put the kibosh on Killer Kross, on Karrion Kross, because he was supposed to be coming in to be Bray Wyatt's right-hand man in the Wyatt Six.
All right. Jay, since we're on wrestling, Jay wants to know, what would our wrestling names be if we were wrestlers?
When I backyard wrestled, I was Lil Franchise.
I'll take the present name given to me by one of the watchers for me, Big Germ.
You got called Big German Prison Germ? That's kind of
no.
weird,
One of my guys.
What would my
called
wrestling
me
name
that.
be?
Yeah.
What do you think?
When I did, I was Big Rich.
Damn, that's a tag team right there, Big Rich and Big Germ.
You didn't have an ampersand by it and called yourself Big and Rich, huh?
No, that was actually a radio name they gave me when I was in Illinois, and I said, "Guys, that's copyrighted. You can't do that." I have a jersey from that.
Yep.
I'll have to wear it one night from
There
that
it is.
station, and it was it has Big and Rich on the back of it.
I try to go with my nickname from high school, Migs.
Maybe DJ Dog Tags.
There you go.
All right.
Nothing crazy. Jeremy, so is this Tesla dude gonna beat out the Patrick dude?
I have the feeling by mid-season he may take over for him. Yeah.
Because I traded Drake London for a first round next year, a second round next year, Ibuka, and him.
Wow. Oh, there we go. Dylan can be
Run
the
that. Run that again. You did what to a chicken? Run that again.
Did you
I
catch
did
that?
what?
You did what to a chicken? Run that trade past me one more time.
I traded London for next year's first and second round pick for Andy for Ibuka and Tesla.
That's not bad, really.
Dynasty League, I'm assuming.
Dynasty.
That's not bad, really, because you got two rookies.
Yeah.
One is definitely going to be a starter in the slot position.
Yeah.
The other one will develop into one.
Yeah, that's not. I don't trust Drake London. I'm not sure I would have gotten rid of my one for one of those guys.
No,
But-
he's saying he got.
I
a
got
first
the
and a
one.
second.
So you got London and a one.
No,
he
no.
traded
I got
London.
Ibuka, Tesla, a one
Oh.
next year and a two next year.
He got a great trade.
What kind of an idiot made that trade with you?
I wasn't letting that dude. They've been trying. This league has been trying to get London off me now for a year and a half.
No, he's getting Jade. I caught that right away. He's getting a first and a second next year, and getting Ibuka and Tesla. For
Okay,
Drake London.
I heard it. I initially heard it. He was sending London the one and the two for the two
No.
receivers.
No. I received the two
So what kind-
receivers and the two picks.
Did Drake London all of a sudden become Calvin Johnson?
I guess. I'm
Man,
I'm
you
trying
robbed
to-
that. And the
Yeah.
league approved the trade. The league approved the trade.
dude. This league is called drunk trades.
I
Every
like
trade that gets put in and accepted goes through automatically.
Oh shit!
Dude, this league
Dude,
is
you did a
This
bang
league-
heist on that one, brother.
this league is crazy. Like you should see something. Ricky Purcell went for a number one pick.
that. What?
Who?
Yes, and I said
Pearsall?
and I said something about it, and they're like, dude, he's gonna be like a top receiver, and I'm
I'm
like,
calling it now. That app's gonna make Shadir Sanders the number one overall pick as the number one prospect in fantasy. Speaking of that, he's getting number 12 because DeAndre Carter's got number 2. I'm shocked they didn't take his number from him.
Well,
dude,
yeah,
Shedeur
we were.
Sanders in the one draft I did was not even drafted. He was picked up as a free agent.
Shedeur Sanders ain't going to start.
I don't know,
I don't
Rich.
understand
They're
what
bragging
people don't
about him
understand.
again on Twitter.
By the end of the year, I think he might play though.
Oh, he might play if somebody
You know-
gets hurt.
Who's gonna play? Who's gonna start then? Dylan Gabriel?
Yes,
Joe
I think you're going to
Flacco.
start with. I think you're going to start with Flacco. Gabriel is going to take over partway through the season because Flacco will get hurt or suck, and he'll take over the rest of the way. And Shadour's not going to see the field unless he gets the obligatory kneel down when they're down 75 or whatever.
Or if they happen to be up 14 with 1 minute left.
Yeah,
That's one
something like
season
that.
of
But
Stadium.
Did you see the thing on Facebook? It said Shador Sanders instead of
Yeah.
Shador Sanders.
I like the announcement I made before he was picked. I was like, oh, this just in. Walmart traded Shedeur Sanders for 2 end table sets from IKEA.
oh, I saw McDonald's drafted in with the 7th round pick and all kind of stuff. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one
Um,
season of Stadium Lockup I'm gonna check out is whenever he starts playing and see how the fans react on that show.
I just want. I mean,
No,
you know how
Kuiper's just
you have.
insufferable.
Yeah, but you know how you have those situations where you just did not handle things well from the very beginning.
Yeah, his interview.
That's Shador Sanders from Jump Street, from when he walked into college, and he is a perfect example of why the NIL is completely screwing up college football and the NFL. He is the poster child for that shit. Because
Him
if
and
he was
Caleb
playing
Williams both.
for, let's be honest, if he was playing for a real coach, let's put it this way: if he played for Nick Saban, would he see the field? If he played for Les Miles, would he see the field? If he played for Brian Kelly,
No.
would he see the field?
Bobby
No.
Bowden.
Probably. You never know what BK.
So, they wouldn't put up with his stuff, first off, and he would have to earn his position. They wouldn't care who his dad was. If he played for, okay, let's go one step further. If he played for Bobby Bowden, who was his dad's head coach, Bobby Bowden would have thrown his ass off the team.
He would have thrown his
For doing some-
dong ass off the team.
Shiloh would have been a water boy.
Shiloh's not. See, to me, Shiloh is okay.
No, Shiloh.
I don't know that he's an
NFL.
NFL. I don't think he's an NFL player, but you notice he has flown completely under the radar in this whole thing. He ain't said 5 words to nobody, and I think he's gotten more respect out of this whole thing than Shador's gotten. Because he, if I remember correctly, he got picked up as a UDFA, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Somebody picked him up as a UDFA. I hope he goes out there, busts his butt, and makes a team. I really do.
Who?
Shiloh Sanders.
Shiloh Sanders. I don't think he's that great of a ball player, but he has zero of the attitude of his brother, and he works hard. And hey, I hope that I really do. I hope he turns into, help me guys, the dude from Philly that they made the movie about. Oh, the guy that made special teams in Philly that did
Marky
you know what I'm
Wahlberg?
talking about.
Mark
Yeah, that Marky
Wahlberg?
Mark did I don't care if he becomes that guy, or he becomes a special teams guy or whatever. I hope he makes the team. I really do. So
I just thought out of every safety I watched last year, Shiloh Sanders was the worst.
well, I never said he was good. I mean, could he? But I bet you this: could he be taught? He has physical tools. Could he be taught how to be a special teams player in the NFL? Maybe. Vince Papale, thank you.
Vince Papale, yeah.
Yeah, the walk on.
Yeah. But could he be taught to be a special teams player, Jeremy? Possibly. Kid's got physical talent.
If he could tackle, I'd agree with you. The kid can't fucking tackle. He tackles worse than Swiss
He's
cheese.
fourth. He's fourth on the depth chart in this position.
Okay.
Just letting you know. Just letting you know. I'm
Who
looking
picked
at the
him? Who
Tampa
picked-
Bay. Looking at the
who
Tampa
picked
Bay
him?
depth chart
Tampa?
right now.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Tampa
I couldn't remember who it was that picked him up.
I like the
Yeah.
guy
Right.
that gets in the 6th round better at safety on accident than Shiloh being a UDFA. I was hoping he'd end up in the UFL.
Well,
That
and
might
that
be-
may be where he ends up.
They were out of my usual size, JI, so I had to go
What, coffee? They were out of coffee today, Jim?
Mountain Dew time.
They were out of coffee?
No, I just didn't feel like making any.
Oh.
Still got the empty cup here, though.
I want to wash it out.
Oh, I just finished that before I started the show, and then I broke into this that I broke into last night.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yes.
This is where Dylan usually has like a shit ton of fucking questions lined up, and at the last minute he backed out, and I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's muted enough
Oh.
camera.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what he's doing either. But you guys want some questions? I got a couple I can throw out there.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Jamie. There it is.
DJ dog tags.
There you go.
Well,
There you go.
Let's test it. Jamie, say good evening, you maggots. Do it in your best like military voice.
He could be. He's Private Terry Daniels, man. There he is, right there.
Bruh. Terry fucking
Good evening, you maggots.
Private
That's
Terry
actually not-
Daniels revisited.
You gotta I approve this one. Sponsored by Duluth
So-
Tree.
I'd be going
When
Major
it's-
Pain. Yes, I'd be going Major
Watch
Pain.
it by Mel Kiper's an idiot.
I'm gonna get you guys all fired up.
Who in
here
the
for a
hell is
second,
Mel
okay?
Kiper?
I'm gonna get you guys all fired up for a second.
You don't know who
When
the
it's
Kiper
all said and
is?
done, and their careers are over, who makes a bigger impact on the world of women's basketball? Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
I'm
I
gonna
don't even
say-
have to think about it.
I'm gonna say in the future, Haley Van Lith.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but I'm just looking at those two right now because that's kind of the
hot Haley Van. Lith.
bird magic kind of a thing they got going on right
Yeah,
now.
but the
No,
problem is
not even close. Because
Reese
you know
can't
what? Angel
Reese
Reese-
can't beat her in the pros.
Hey,
She
wait,
beat her in a natty, but couldn't beat her in the pros.
Yeah.
Angel Reese shoots so bad. That's why she has so many rebounds.
This
No, I
You know
get
what-
it.
You know what her field goal percentage last year was? 19%. I watched one game for her to set the record for rebounds in the game. She missed 5 shots in a row.
Well, the thing I look at with Angel Reese, she's
McDonald?
more prominent off court.
good meal by
You know,
the
like
way.
she's on the cover of Vogue and stuff like
McDonald's.
that. She's
McDonald's.
more into the
We got a
whole
meal after.
McDonald's thing, right?
I mean, I love
Caitlin
her,
Clark
but
has some stuff off court, but on court, forget it. I mean, I can't wait to see her and Paige Becker's face off. That's going to be fun to watch.
That is going to be fun.
I realize there are
love-
different types of ball players, but I think those two are going to have fun going against each other.
Haley
I
Van.
love my
Lith.
Bayou Barbie, but she's like a female LeBron minus all the championships. Like she starts so much shit, she whines too much, and it's
I was just really curious where you guys were going to sit with all that because
Caitlin
I-
can't win a championship, so I'm definitely not saying her.
I think the
Well-
Fever made some right moves over the off season to put
I
themselves
think
in
Haley
decent
Van Lith's
playoffs.
hot.
She gonna be a star when she
What
starts
Haley
playing.
Van Lith?
Oh yeah, I loved her at LSU. I wish she would have stayed, but she had an outstanding career at TCU, so it's okay that she left. She got out of all the drama that was going on.
I think
over there.
Caitlin getting left off the Olympic team really pissed her off.
Yeah, it did.
oh yeah. Jay, I don't know if that's the only reason.
Rich,
And
who
that's
else you
why I
talking
bring
about?
up but that's why I bring up Angel Reese.
I feel like Caitlin
because
Clark
I think-
brought more revenue, but Reese can bring some
Olivia,
revenue
are you
too.
talking about our pitcher's girlfriend, Jay? Olivia?
Olivia Dunn?
Another hottie.
Yeah, but that's Paul. That's all schemes right there. We can't have her.
Wait. Well, no. Jay just said the gymnast from LSU makes more money.
Well, yeah, NIL money.
Not OnlyFans money, NIL money.
I don't think Olivia Dunn needs an OnlyFans.
I mean, she could if she wants. That's how hot she is, but she don't need it. Her DMs will
Yeah.
be thirsty as shit.
Oh, baby. I bet
So
you
as
there's a
we
bunch
sit-
of guys looking to raw dog her.
So as we
Jesus
sit right this
Christ.
second,
That's his Raw Dog and Jamie Malloy. That's your fucking wrestling nickname.
Raw
Raw
dog
dog.
and Jamie Malloy.
Raw Dog and Jamie. I like that. Yeah, that's your fucking wrestling name right there.
getting
Jesus.
back to the show,
You might be the number one selling shirt. Holy cow!
what's that?
I'm gonna introduce him. Hey, welcome to On the Go, Raw Dog and Jamie.
And Dylan just left.
Oh my fucking god! I lost the parlay. Fuck! You're shitting me. Fucking buzzer beater by the fucking Pacers.
Oh well, here with the same game parlay.
I feel like that little Bat Dad Lego thing right now.
Dude, the Jimmy Carr laugh cracks me up every
Yo,
time.
I'll tell you why I hate Trevor Lawrence
Jackie
so
Porter would be
fucking
the
much.
virus.
Jamie,
mean,
Marcus, did the Pacers win?
They won with a fucking half-court buzzer beater.
Oh fuck!
There was a rookie wide receiver from the Jags 3 weeks in a row that was leading fantasy for wide receiver, and the Jags were playing in London versus the fucking Chicago Bears. Couldn't cover a cold at the time. Remember that? And the guy is standing wide open 1 yard away from the goal line, and he forces it for an interception to Travis Etienne. I had a 10-leg parlay for anytime touchdown that for a $10 bet would have paid me $12,000, and I lost it on the first game of the fucking morning, and all 9 others hit.
Wow.
Trevor Lawrence is a fucking bum.
I would never bet on Trevor Lawrence.
I wasn't betting on Trevor Lawrence. I was betting on the receiver that had been getting all the yak yards, and he's standing there wide open, looking at Trevor. Trevor looks at him. He goes, "No, I'm going to throw it to Etienne." Because I'm retarded.
Fucking pretty boy.
His name is Special Ed.
His name is Sunshine Jones, as in Danny Jones with long hair.
Sunshine, lollipops, and na 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 na. That commercial with the older ladies.
You know, we bag on Daniel Jones as a fucking bust, and Trevor Lawrence almost has the exact same goddamn stats and team.
Dude, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
is
but
a
at least
fucking-
Daniel Jones is rumored to be dating what's her name? Kay Adams.
Yes, K.I., I love it. Trevor retarded.
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is one of those guys that I talk about all the time. Put in a shit system.
Right.
He
And-
got put in a system that he was destined to fail right out of the box.
Yep. And
If
it's
he
only
got
good
put
year.
onto a decent team, if he would have been put in Atlanta, if he would have been put in Jacksonville,
Detroit.
if he would have been put in Green Bay, someplace like that, I think he would have been much better. But to go to the Giants at that particular point in time, all his confidence went straight out the window within the first 2 seasons. I hope he gets it back. I really do.
I think the Colts are going to be a good fit for him.
Hopefully.
I mean, you know, Anthony, I'm tired of
I think
Richardson.
I think it,
No, and
if,
I mean,
Anthony Richardson starts out like Achilles Smith again this year, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, whatever
And they
you
have
wanna
Riley
call him,
Leonard now, too.
will be
No,
starting
and-
by week 3.
And I can tell you this. Think about the abuse that he took from the New York media, and he never got upset. He never went on some sort of a rant. He never said, fuck all you guys and to hell with you and everybody that looks like you. It was just he kept his cool. He stayed centered. And I think that has a lot to do with the success I think he can have later on, because he's not old. He's what, 27, 28?
28 this year. He turns 28.
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
not. He's far from old.
He's
that
just
he could
at the first
actually-
year of his prime, and he actually can run if he can stay on his feet.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have to let the turf monster bite him.
Right. Or have that black cat run across the field again.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones. There's a couple of guys. I wish Tony Romo would have ended up with a different team, because I think Romo was a pretty good quarterback. If he would have had a different surrounding, I wish him and Mark Sanchez could have traded teams. Because you got to
Romo
remember,
had
at that
some-
point,
Romo had some decent receivers on his team, though.
he did, but the
Miles
rest of the team was not good.
Miles Austin.
He had no running game. He had Des Bryant.
Mark Witten
He had
was
no
still there
running game,
playing.
though.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray was a good running back.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray was decent.
Since
For
our
1
last
year.
since our last
For
show,
what?
the international pathways player of the Lions that I talked about, that kid out of Samoa, he got signed by the Raiders. He was just an invite. We didn't sign him. So he's not here. But the reason why he signed with the Raiders, he goes, I had absolutely no chance of breaking this roster.
I like Joey Harrington in college.
So you know what he's saying?
Too.
The Raiders have a shittier D line than the Lions. I have a shot there. He's not wrong, though, is he?
No, he's not wrong.
I mean, Talik Williams, he'll be behind Talik Williams, Aleem McNeil, and DJ Reader at least, and possibly Roy Lopez.
And what he can look at is he plays his first contract with the Raiders and then moves to the Lions in free agency.
Right, because like I said, and I mentioned this after we did our draft review last week, I think Talik Williams will start next to DJ Reader because I don't trust Roy Lopez as a starter. He's a rotational player that did okay for the Cardinals when he subbed in.
Well, Reader's what, 32, 34, something like that?
Right, and that's why I say when Aleem McNeil gets healthy, somewhere between week 6 and 8, I think Reader hits the trade block to get something for him.
Well, that's why I was so happy the Steelers did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cam Hayward, who has been a stalwart, perennial all-pro player, but he's 35. He's only got another year or two left. But if he can pass on knowledge to a talented younger guy to take that spot when he leaves, that's so big. So big.
Oh my.
And that's something that I really believe that Cam Hayward, I think Cam Hayward, if he wants to, could be a defensive coordinator when it's all said and done.
Jay,
If he wants to.
I just noticed this in the chat. J.I. said he has a Joey Harrington. I have his jersey. I have one too.
That's why I said Joey.
You
Harrington
guys are the
earlier.
ones that have it. You guys are the ones that have the 2 jerseys that got sold. Okay, I got it. Remember he
Yeah,
had
but-
that billboard in
wait.
Times Square?
Yeah, but you want to know what's bad about it? Guess where I found it? I found
Goodwill,
it for
baby.
50 cents at Goodwill in 2018. And it was in perfect condition.
Right. Like
So-
if I ever got rid of my jerseys in Goodwill, people would be like crazy.
Yes, so
So
J.I.
fucking-
and I have the 2 that were sold, and I got it secondhand.
When my wife and I were in Pittsburgh for the Saints game 11 years ago now, we went in. I don't remember the name of the store now. We went in and they had clearance rack, and I got a Deuce Staley official jersey for $11.
Yeah, I remember when Walmart was doing official
Can't
jerseys
beat
there
that,
for a
Rich.
while. And
Nah.
I think I got, what was that? Oh, Peg Leg, Jermaine Crowell. I got his jersey for like $10.
Yep. But
But that was
I'll
a-
tell you the best one I ever got though. My dad, he had connections everywhere in Dallas Fort Worth. He was the maintenance manager at Six Flags Mall in Arlington, which is where all the guys went because they wanted to get away from Dallas to go do whatever they were doing. So he knew everybody up there. So I got a Mike Pitts Philadelphia Eagles game worn jersey for Christmas one year. And I mean, it was the official game jersey, had the strap that went underneath that you buttoned into the bottom of the shirt
Right.
around through the crotch
Right.
so that it stayed in place.
And anybody who's owned one knows those are there or played. The people who never played, they buy those ones at Dunham's that are not official. They're just an official jersey. They're not a game jersey. That's
Right.
the difference.
Right.
And
And it was that Reggie White green. It was that really deep Kelly green that they
Yeah.
wore when Reggie White was there.
And
And I was
Randall
like,
Cunningham and all those guys. Yeah, I know what you're
I
talking about.
wore the hell out of that shirt, man.
The brighter, not the dark one. The brighter green, the Kelly green. Yeah, like
Yes, sir.
Kelly tires on the sign. How it has the green with the. Yep.
Yeah, I wore that thing, man. Sheesh. I'm not even sure what ended up happening to it. I got it when I was like,
You
13,
wore it,
14.
the game jersey. Yeah, when you're a kid, you wear shit.
I wore it to school. I wore it to practice one day.
Oh Jesus! Now that
Folks looked at me like I had lost my mind. Our colors were red, white, and blue. Here I come charging out with this green and white jersey on. It didn't even have my number because Mike Pitts wore 74. I wore 76.
did you button it up via the crotch?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, you're right. I love it.
I mean, this was the late 80s, man. That was when you actually played football. And I was a defensive guy, and you pulled jerseys, tore at jerseys, all that kind of stuff. Heck yeah, man.
Sweet. Well,
So here's my other one. For now that we've seen what the draft looks like, assuming the teams, let's assume no injuries, okay, during training camp, which we all know is a pipe dream, but let's assume none. We all know the teams that we're going to talk about as the best in the league. Who are the 3 worst teams in the NFL in 2025?
Well, you got to go. All you got to do is look at the top of the fucking draft. It's right there.
You think it's the same? You think it's the same 3?
Titans, Cleveland, and then who was the other one? God, I forget who was
The Giants.
Giants.
The Giants. And I think you almost have to splash the Bears and the Jags in there. That's the 5 worst teams in the league.
What about the Jets? You got to throw the Jets in
What
there.
about the Saints?
They ain't that far.
6 or
They
7.
not far. They not far.
What about the Saints?
They were picked 9. Saints were the 9th
They were
pick.
picked 9. Yeah, I mean,
Saints are gonna.
once you get past the 5th pick, because remember, at the 5th pick, that was the last of the ones that had a unique win-loss record. Everybody else were all.
I
about
like
the
how a
same
lot of
after that.
teams approached the draft. It was more about building through the trenches, which I like. That's how you win games.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I can't see the Saints being good. I can't see them winning 5 games. I really, honest to God, can't.
I'll be happy if they can at least win 7. But
I mean, I think. I don't know. To me, I'm really and I sit here thinking about it, and I'm going, man, this is going to be tough because I don't know that the Titans are going to be that as shitty as they were last year, simply because they now have a legit quarterback.
They'll be improved.
Cleveland will be bad, but I think it depends who the quarterback is. But I still think they're going to be bad. The Giants aren't going to be as shitty as they were. I mean, you look at what their skill position players on offense are going to look like opening night. When they got Jackson Dart at quarterback, Tracy and Scadaboo at running back, and then you've got Neighbors and Slayton at receiver, that's not a bad group.
Plus, an improved offensive line too.
Right. I mean, they're in a brutal division. Don't get me wrong, because
and
Washington and Philly.
No, but I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
What's the other guy's name?
More competitive, though.
What's the other guy's name? Theo?
I think the Raiders have a chance at 3 more wins this year, just because
Well,
of what they did in the draft and free agency.
Well, you know what's going to help them? They're going to actually going to be able to run the ball because last year they were last in the league, and Pete Carroll's got a reputation of having a strong running game. So his system will allow them to be a top rushing team. So that'll help them.
As soon as Pete Carroll was announced to go, I said then he would be a Raider.
Well, I'm going out on a limb on this one. And the reason why I wanted you guys' opinions on this is because I'm really going out on a limb on this one. But I'm going Saints, I'm going Dolphins, and I'm going Jaguars.
Not feeling the Ollie Gordon, huh? Not feeling the Quinn Ewers taking over for Tua's concussions.
No. Because I don't think that Ewers has a quarterback coach that can groom him. Ewers needs a guy like Byron Leftwich or a Dante Culpepper or, a guy like that, or even a Kellen Moore. I would have been much happier for Ewers if he would have gotten drafted by the Saints than getting drafted by the Dolphins, because I think Kellen Moore would be more valuable to a guy like Quinn Ewers than what Miami's going to give him. I don't know that Ewers does much in Miami.
I still pick them up.
Quinn Sewers.
So I almost
Yeah.
put the Cowboys in there, and I was like, nah, they'll win a few just on Dak and their defense.
Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer comes from the Pete Carroll school, being able to run the ball too.
By the way, I did
Who's
find
gonna
out,
run it?
Reputation of that.
Devontae Williams.
I did find out that Isaiah Bond was released from suicide watch last Friday after his prank call of saying he was signed to the Cowboys.
I mean, Jaden Blue is going to run the ball for the Cowboys. Come on.
Devontae Williams.
No.
Javonte Williams. At least he's not
Either way,
He doesn't carry an AARP card trying to run through that line.
yeah, I mean, and the Cowboys have got a pretty tough schedule when you look at who they've got. By the way, this time, or actually,
Tyler
Adam,
Booker-
when we do our
Tyler
show
Booker's
next
going to be
week,
an animal at guard.
he will be, but who's he going to block for?
Yeah, next
Again,
week.
Adam and I will be doing our show next week, right after schedule comes out.
On Wednesday night, right?
I'm gonna drop mine the day it come out.
Yep.
I have my show on Wednesday night too, so I'll be live then.
Yeah, we're
You'll be at
9
the round
Eastern, 8
table, though.
Central.
You'll be at the round table, Jeremy. You'll be able to have everyone's comments.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, for those paying attention, the Rangers did defeat the Red Sox under their new hitting coach, Brett Boone, 6-1. They had a 5-run inning tonight. They scored more runs in that inning than they did Wednesday through Saturday combined. We're squawking about the Pirates, Adam. Rangers couldn't hit.
I don't even want to talk about the Pirates right now.
I don't care.
They're just on a horrible slump.
Shit. Can't be as bad as the fucking Astros, and we just got Lance McCullers Jr. back in. If they'd have kept him in the game, they'd have beat the goddamn White Sox.
The White Sox.
Yes.
We realize who we're
Smelly-
talking about here.
The Chicago Bulls.
The second worst team in Major League Baseball. You had to put Ryan Gusto in there, who gave up 1 run or 2 runs, and then you make it worse. You put Okert
The
there.
White
and he
Sox
gave up 2
got
runs.
the White Sox are interesting though. They still have a lot of their young prospects that they got from last year though.
They blew a fucking 4-0 lead and lost 5-4. They got their ass beat last night by Milwaukee, and now they're trying to make a comeback in the bottom of the 7th, but I don't think they're gonna make the comeback.
I don't even know what are our Buccos doing tonight, Rich. I've not looked at it today.
The Buccos they lost to St. Louis 2-1.
If they win tomorrow, it's because Framber Valdez is on the mound tomorrow.
Now, here was another case. Skeens goes 6. He gave up both runs though, but he gave up 2. The bullpen gave up 0. They gave up 2 runs. It's not. I've been on the soapbox about this on the Wednesday show. I'm going to get on it now. It's not the fucking pitching that's the problem. They're not hitting.
It's all these old guys that are tired already, Rich.
If they hit anything, the Pirates would be 500 right now. They've lost more games 3-1, 2-1, 3-2, 4-1. They've lost more games like that all season. If they would just hit the freaking ball, and they don't have a bunch of old guys. Cruz isn't old. Reynolds isn't old. Kutch is old. Hayes isn't old. Huh?
Fam's old.
Who?
Fam?
I didn't get the Fam yet. Hayes,
He
Canario,
finally broke his.
Gorski.
Well, Rich, we're going to break into our show on this one here. I mean, Fan
I
was
mean-
0 for 11, and he hit a drooper to third to break the streak. I get it. A hit's a hit, and that's all that counts.
Right, but I mean, Davis. Okay, we're at the end. We're at the start of May. Davis is hitting $133. Get his butt out of there.
What's up, Jerem?
Oh, I was just reading the one where he said, "Time for me to go. Great show as always. Thanks for the great entertainment from JI."
Yeah, in fact, speaking of having to go, I got to go here directly.
Before you take off, did
So-
you see what Michigan's baseball team did to Ohio State Sunday?
In one
23 to
inning.
1 or something
In-
like that.
They scored,
23-1.
yeah, but then they scored like how many? What was it? 16
13.
runs in one. 13
They-
runs. in one.
13 runs in one inning.
Fuck
Yeah,
Ohio State.
yeah, they-
I love it.
They opened up a huge can on Ohio State. That was.
Wow.
They went all
I
water
bet you
boy.
were loving that.
I'm gonna open up a can of whoop ass.
Ooh, so
That's
that's what opened up a
crazy.
can of whoop ass feels like.
I'm gonna go all Captain
Yeah.
Insano on you.
You know what's gonna piss me off? Watch me go 2 days later, turn around and go bet the fucking Pacers, and Cleveland fucking beats them in Game 3. I hope they get fucking swept. I'm fucking done betting on Cleveland. I'm fucking done.
I haven't bet on Cleveland since they drafted LeBum.
I hope they get swept. The next 2 games are in Indy. I hope they fucking sweep them now.
They're
Because
not going to sweep them.
I knew I should have put the
It would be
fucking
funny as hell.
Well,
It'd be funny as hell.
Did the Dodgers beat Miami? I should have put the fucking Dodgers on my parlay.
Did the Dodgers beat Miami? Hold on a second. I got these.
I know Otani got a bomb.
Otani hit a bomb. Yeah.
No, they
Marlins
lost 5-4. Thank God I
Marlins
did not.
5-4-10.
Yeah, thank God I didn't bet that either.
So
Speaking of
when you
bombs,
do those
speaking of
card-
bombs, I was tied 5-5 with my co-host there on the weekend. All of a sudden, I won 7-2 somehow.
7-3, yeah, actually. And yeah, I don't know.
I don't
what
even know how that happened, Rich. I woke up and was like, I probably lost. And then I looked and I was like, the fuck happened?
The only thing I could figure, you and I were super close in ERA and WHIP. I mean, within like a couple hundredths. And I had
Right.
3 pitchers that went Sunday, and you only had 1. So that's the only thing I could figure was that maybe those 2 things ended up flipping. And so, but yeah, I mean, I'm in 6th place and I'm 5 games out of first. So I'm not worried.
bragging today. I'm not bragging today.
I mean, I'm not worried. I have one really good week, and I'm back on top. So, and I'm starting out pretty solid this week. So, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. I need to make a couple of moves. I really do, but
Me and Rich are in the same fantasy baseball.
yeah. But Evaldi did great for me tonight. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 run, and struck out 7. So Evaldi was fantastic tonight. But anyway, guys, seriously, I got to bug out. So you want me to do
Well,
my
Rich-
usual thing, and
Yeah, go ahead. I will see you tomorrow night for sure. We doing 9:00
yeah,
Eastern.
yeah, 9 Eastern, 8 Central tomorrow night. Adam and I will be doing Steel City Sports Talk. We start out Pittsburgh sports. Here lately, we've been sticking to it, but every now and then we go way off the rails. Monday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, I do Two Tire Change, which is the NASCAR program here on the station, and get a chance to talk about the previous week's race and preview the current week's race, as well as getting into DFS and betting odds on those races. And then, of course, here on Tuesday nights, hit me up on Twitter at BigRich8371 or on Facebook under my name, Rich Richardson. So plenty of ways to get me. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Rich. We'll see you tomorrow night, buddy.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Later.
Yeah.
Then there were
number
4.
4.
Then there were the Horsemen. Marcus, are you wearing a Knights jersey tonight?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas tonight. They up 2-0 in the first. Mark Stone just scored a goal not long ago, so that's 2-0 with 9:18 in the first period. I gotta check on the other game. I mean, it don't fucking matter no more thanks to fucking Cleveland. I want to see if they're going in a shootout or did the Caps come back and beat the fucking beat the Hurricanes because it was
They don't have shootout, Marcus, in the playoffs. It's continuous overtime until somebody scores.
It don't make a shit no more. The Caps just lost. I mean, I already lost my fucking shit with Cleveland. So the Carolina Hurricanes just beat the Caps 2-1 in overtime.
Shootouts only in the regular season.
So they'll just keep playing overtimes until they get a win.
20-minute overtimes in the playoffs until somebody scores.
And I believe the Penguins and Capitals hold the longest overtime. Went till like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that was wasn't it
Jesus
last season?
Christ.
That was the Penguins won the game. I know that.
Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember.
It's like 1992.
No, there was one that was long too, not too long ago. Was where they went till the wee hours of the morning.
I don't know. I thought it was the Capitals and Penguins in like 91 or 92. I remember Dino Ciccarelli, Kevin Hatcher. Let's find out.
Or Darius Kasparaitis scoring on the Sabres in 2001, Game 7. Blasted past Hasek.
Dude, the Penguins had Hasek's number in the playoffs.
Darius Kasparaitis, that was a name. He was a beast.
Number 11, Darius Kasparaitis. Absolutely.
And your goalie, Johan Hedberg.
Did you find it, Jerm? Or weren't you looking it up?
No, I didn't. I was saying.
Oh. I thought you were looking it up. Sorry.
No, but I know that there was a long overtime game not too long ago in the playoffs.
Gotcha. Wait, who's playing? Vegas is playing.
They're playing the Oilers.
Oh, Connor.
And Vegas is playing the Oilers. The Jets are playing the Stars. I hope the fucking Jets beat their ass. And then on the other side, the Hurricanes are playing the Capitals, and the Panthers are playing the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs beat the Panthers last night.
Holy fuck. The Red Wings won 1-0 back in 1936 over the Montreal Maroons. And it was 176 minutes and 30 seconds, 6 overtime.
That was the longest one?
That's the longest one in playoff history.
Was that Stanley Cup too?
Yeah.
1-0, huh?
Yep. And then the second one was 1933, Boston Bruins at Maple Leafs, the Flyers at Penguins in 2000. 2020, this was a triple overtime between Columbus Blue Jackets and Tampa Bay Lightning. Anaheim Penguins at Capitals was in 1996.
I didn't think 92.
That's the seventh. That's the seventh longest. But Florida Panthers at Carolina Hurricanes in 2023. That was the one I was thinking of. It's 6th on the list.
Gotcha. My bad.
But shit, 1936, 176 minutes and
That's a
30
long
seconds with 6 overtimes, and then 5 overtimes with the Boston Bruins at Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's a long fucking time.
5 overtimes in 2000 with the Flyers at Penguins. 4 overtimes with Blue Jackets at Tampa Bay Lightning. 3 overtimes with the Anaheim Ducks at Dallas Stars, Florida Panthers and Carolina Hurricanes, and then the Penguins at Capitals. Those were
That is almost 2 full hockey games.
Right.
That is insane.
Right. But we're talking about one that it was 6 overtimes. Do you realize what that is?
That's 3 games.
That's 3 games in one night. Can you imagine almost playing 180 minutes of hockey?
That'd be awesome.
How
Great for a
tired-
fan. Great for a fan, kind of.
Yeah, except for the fact that you probably didn't leave. You went in at 7 o'clock at night and you left at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's a lot of game.
Yeah, because when they do the overtimes, it's not right away. You come back out. There's that 5 to 10 minute break in between.
Oh
each
no!
one.
Well, regulation. It's 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's
each
20
period.
minute intermission.
Oh yeah, so you got that in between too. But the gameplay
Wow.
time, was 176 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's insane.
So then you had all those 20 minutes. Yeah, you definitely left at 7 a.m. You saw the sunrise. You went in and it
There was
started-
no cell phones then. There was no phone calls to the wife, and they probably had no clue.
right. What they had was the old crank phones that you had to dial.
Y'all had it worse. If you couldn't, the wives couldn't call you. They were sitting at home. They were sitting there waiting until you got home. Then you had that ass argument when you walk in the house.
And back then, remember, there's no TV, so they had to wait for it to come up on the radio on a news break.
Right.
That wife just sitting there going, "Man, where the fuck have you been?"
What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Like, where the hell are you?
But if they were listening to the radio, because back then everybody listened to the radio. If you were awake, the radio was on. They had to have heard. Well, they're still going at it. Blah blah.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Crazy. Just crazy shit.
Think about that. War of the Worlds was when Orson Welles read it on the radio. What was that? 1924 that he did that. That they talked about it.
I don't know the year.
Well, anyways, when he read War of the World on the air, and everybody thought it was a real news break, he was live reading it for 7 straight hours. Can you imagine on a nationally broadcasted radio station back then? That's what you heard for 7 straight hours. A story about aliens taking over the earth, and you're all looking outside like, what the fuck is he talking about?
That'd be wild. Do we have any more sports agenda tonight, boys?
A buddy of mine.
Yankees won.
A buddy of mine this past Sunday passed away in the morning. He had been a
I'm sorry.
65-year New York Giants fan. His name is Matt. He was the leader of the NEESP Sports Podcasting Group on YouTube. And as soon as YouTube allowed lives to start happening, he had a podcast. So rest in peace to him. My condolences to him, to his friends, his family, and anybody who podcasted with him or been on a show with him. Rest in peace, Matt.
Sorry about your friend, though.
It was bad. But he had been in and out of the hospital lately and been having issues with his heart. It was
Okay, so there were back issues then, Jerm.
we knew it was coming. We just didn't want it to happen. How's that?
That's the way it always is. All right. Jamie just said the Yankees won. So why don't you start? No, you go last. You bring too much. You cover too much. I'll go first. We good, Marcus? You good? Ready to roll?
Yeah.
When you doing a show again? You're gonna release it?
I did one last night. I did my rant on fucking Houston having a problem. So that one
I didn't.
was
Pardon me.
Oh yeah, I did put it in your play group.
Mhm.
Marcus. So you got anything else lined up? And how do people get you?
Well, right below your screen, I'm at my personal Twitter at MarcusSilly337. My show's Twitter at @onthego_TXLA. You never know when I'm gonna pop up and say something. Like all this with a bad weekend Houston had. I popped in late last night, gave my rant to Houston.
You're allowed. It's your show. You run you.
The only thing is, I know when the summer comes, the only teams that are going to be still going while the summer's going is mainly going to be the Astros and the Dynamo. So I might do a little coverage of the College World Series and the baseball tournament till that's over with. I might do like, even if LSU makes it and gets knocked out, I might just do like score updates and predictions only. I might not break no games down or nothing. Same with softball. I might do a little coverage of the Women's College World Series as well, because McNeese will definitely be in that.
Sweet. Hey, you can get me at Sports Talk Neat on Twitter. Obviously, we're here on Tuesday nights. I'll be back here tomorrow night with Rich on Wednesday for the Steel City Talk. He changed the name of it. I don't. Steel City Chat, we'll call it. I don't really know the name of the show. I just know it's Steel something because we're Pittsburgh. And you can get me at Driving to the Top. You can also get me here on the YouTube channel. Hit the like, subscribe button. Yeah. Jeremy.
All right, you can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I go live anywhere from 8 to 12 times a week with all the shows I'm a guest on. There's Ken and Ken in the morning. There's Open Sports Mike, the UFL show, my show.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back Thursday for the UFL show. I forgot about that one.
Yep. Hey,
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought
Sorry.
I'd mention it.
Sorry, my team likes to commit turnovers, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, that's why
how
you're
we-
like
that's how
one
we
in
fucking lose.
forever right now. But anyway,
We'll talk about that Thursday.
where was I at? Oh yeah, you got my show, which is Kneecap Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. Every day noon, Monday through Friday. The NFL Roundtable Talk 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night, and the Lions Fan Cave Chat at 9 p.m. on Fridays. I'm here on Tuesday nights for Open Sports Night at 9, and on the UFL show somewhere between 8:30 and 9, depending on when everybody shows up.
Right.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think we're good. Jamie, close it out.
Yep, you guys can follow me, yours truly, at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags, and you can also find me at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat on X, Facebook.com, not Facebook.com, forkball.com, and StadiumRant.com, excuse me, where I write about all sports. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, ring the bell for notifications. Thank you guys very much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on our next open mic episode next Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. For more content like this, Joe Dalio and I are Subway Conversation Chat and our UFL show on Thursday on Driving to the Top Productions. Please visit our YouTube page, Twitch stream, Facebook stream, X stream, wherever you consume your podcast. Have a good night, folks.
All righty, guys. Thank you all
Peace.
for listening. Everyone for tuning in. Thank you.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.